Good morning, everyone. So, I am a very polite Canadian. Hold that thought. Keep on holding that thought. We have some lovely souls here who want to say hello. Good morning, Sam. How are you today? Oh, my boy. And Miss Foxy. Good morning, Miss Foxy. Oh, you're so soft. You're so soft. Yes, how was your sleep? And we have Mr. Kosh. Good morning, love. How are you this morning? Ouch, ouch, ouch. Gosh. And there we have Mr. Hep. Good morning, old man. So, good morning from the Anwar household. Foxy. Sam. All right, so back to business. I am a polite Canadian, or as the Viking says, I'm a polite Schnattenack, which is Canadians backward. And Viking is most obviously an Englishman. So I thought, you know what? I need to brush up on my swearing game. I have had to grow a very thick skin over a very short amount of time. Because he doesn't swear at me, don't get me wrong, but the way the English talk are just, oh, did you just really say that? So here we go. Learning how to swear like an Englishman. I gotta take a deep breath to fortify myself. Fucking shite! Sometimes life serves you up a basket of bollacks when you're surrounded by bellends and cunts. All right, now that I got that off my chest, life is going to be grand. Where did I put my water? I got to wash my mouth out with soap now. I did not have a good night last night. I was too hot. I was too cold. When I went to put more logs in the fire, I forgot to pull the damper out, and the smoke just poofed up into here. And when you have the stove really dampered off, the smoke that billows out is just it's thick. It's different. I can't really explain it. So for hours, every time I took an in breath, I was just breathing in this really thick smoke. And yeah, woke up wanting to cry and feeling like I had been sleeping in like underneath a huge electrical transformer somewheres, just not right. So I was laying in bed, shifting the energy, counting all my blessings, sending love and receiving love from my kids and Viking and his kids. And then I talked to Viking, and it was just, I feel so much better now. So I guess my encouragement is we don't need to stay on the wrong side of the bed. It's just simply energy. When you start to see things as simple energy, it can get shifted, it can be transmuted very quickly. Now, some energies are easier to shift than others, like the energy that I woke up in today. I find that easier to shift than an anxious energy. Sometimes I have a really hard time with the anxious energy, but just sort of the blah. It's like, no, I'm not going to live in this energy for the rest of the day. It's beautiful. I'm surrounded by love. I'm watching the sunrise. It's like, oh my fucking shite. It's cold out there today. And I have a fire, and I'm snuggled under the blankets, and yeah. So that's my challenge for you today, to start looking at things as energy. Whatever mood, emotion, even thought comes up, let the I'm having an early morning brain fart here. Hold it loosely, hold it in non-attachment, because if you cling on to it and you are determined that or you really believe that you can't do anything about it, it's really hard to shift. But if you are just a little bit curious about it, it's okay to say, you know what, this is a really difficult emotion. I'm not sure how to deal with it. But just have the thought that it's just energy and it can shift in a little second. It's a tool. It's something you can definitely work on. So I want to show you I want to show you what Viking did for me on my stove. I'm so excited about it. Oh, he gave me I am the owner of a genuine thermos now. How exciting is that? You don't even need to take off the top to pour it. Let me show you. I'm like a kid in a candy shop. Okay, so you just look at this. Look at this, guys. Isn't that just wonderful? I made this well over 12 hours ago. I did not warm up the thermos, and it's still nice and hot. Okay, let's start the fire together. So, for 2 years, I've every morning I've come and started a fire here. Well, not every morning, not during the summer. But in the winter, I've started a fire on the stove, and every single morning, it's like, the stove just doesn't make sense the way they set the damper up. It's like, there's a serious design flaw here. It's like, whoever made the stove isn't using it, isn't planning on using it. It's just like, I think that the people who came up with blenders never use it because they're impossible to clean, especially the lids. People who came up with bras and pantyhose, probably not of the feminine persuasion, you know, fucking shit like that. So, oops, this is my damper here. So for those of you who don't know what a damper is, it's something that you pull in and out, and my damper happens to oops. Viking's heart just fell to the floor. This particular stove, the damper is right there. So when you pull this out, there's like a thin shaped piece of metal that how do I explain this? I'm really bad at explaining this sort of thing. You pull the lever out and it opens up the chimney. You push the lever in and it goes back out. So this is like, now it has full airflow. Now you push the damper in and there's no airflow and it suffocates the fire. So obviously the more airflow you have, the bigger your fire will be, the quicker your fire will burn, and it won't be long lasting, right? So for the night, I push it in so that there's just a little space for the air to go through, and then the fires just have a little bit of, or the fire has a little bit of embers in there, right? So now in the morning time, I'm going to pull it all the way open, and I'm going to have a rip-roaring fire. So what the problem was, there's like a little, geez, I really am turning into, or hanging around an English person a lot. There's like a little penis here that's hanging down. It's not dangling, but it's pretty hard. So it was long enough that it stuck past the doorway. So when the door was closed, you literally couldn't open this any further than that. So if you didn't open up the door and pull out the damper at the same time, smoke would just billow through because like I was saying, there's just a really small space for the air to get through or the smoke to get out. So it'd billow up into the shed here. So then every time I opened up the door, smoke would billow. Another thing the Viking did was he put a cap on the outside of the chimney so that it just helps with the airflow. So any hoozles, this not being able to come past the door also meant that every time the door was closed, there's no possibility of having a nice big fire. The only way you could have a nice big fire is if the door was open, but then you had the smoke. So the cap is keeping the smoke from billowing in. And anyways, I'm like just so look at this. He cut this off. So now I can pull this open before I open the door so it clears the firebox of smoke. I can open up the door and there's no smoke. Holy shit, man. I feel like I've just been, you know, it's miraculous. Another thing he taught me was to leave a really large bed of ashes, and I had not been doing that. I had been cleaning it out every time, but it's really cool because I'm going to start a fire here. Well, even now you can see how much of the ash is actually glowing. It's like I think the only way I could describe it is the ash is a bit of a heat sink. And when there's a really nice fire going in here, the ash just comes alive again. It's, yeah, and it's been, he taught me a lot of things about the fire, and he kept it a lot warmer in here, I think with a lot more efficiency. So, I'm just gonna load this up and get the shed warm and ready for the day. So here's a nice tip, whatever you want to call it, for those of you who start fires on a regular basis, inside and outside. So, you know those old-fashioned bellows things where you push them together and then it blows into the fireplace? I've always wanted one of those. I thought they were kind of cool. But I don't have one, so then I would sit with my nose 3 inches away from the wood and huff and puff and, you know, try to blow the house down. So, a straw. We got metal straws and we were at the health food store last week. Now I was going to show you, but there's enough embers in here that it just took off. But you can sit from quite far away and have a very directed stream of air onto the embers, and it's a very quick way to restart a fire, whether you're inside or outside. And listen to it already just snap, crackle, and pop and roar. It's beautiful. I have a date to go snagging today. And it's not what you're thinking. So, snagging is when you walk around and you make a list of things that still need to get done. So, I'm going to say until next time to you. As always, I'm going to encourage all of you watching to start facing your shit in a really big way. We need as many of you as possible to wake up, to start facing the truth, to start digging deep, to be curious, to be open-minded, and to start just fucking shiting this darkness and booting it out and bringing in some light instead. So, until next time, there's some love for you.